Hi everyone, my name is Deborah and welcome to the Edit by DH. Welcome to another video. This video has been planned for a long time and I'm so sorry that it's been delayed. A number of factors have led to this being uploaded a little bit later than I had ideally planned because I was unwell at one point and it took me a while to recover. I had some back-to-back deadlines and projects going on, and it was a really busy time in general. Normally the latter part of the year is the busier end for me, so I do appreciate your patience on this video. I'm assuming by now that if you're watching this video you are either in team Victoria Beckham or team 𝕬𝕚𝕚𝕚𝕚, and I feel like most of you have probably followed me for my content and have originally discovered me because of either a Victoria Beckham review or a 𝕬𝕚𝕚𝕚𝕚 review. I just want to start this video by saying I am, not favouring one brand over the other. If you guys have followed me for a while, you will know that I have been reviewing both brands pretty much since the beginning that they launched, and I'm a fan of both makeup brands. I think I make that obvious. I even have specific playlists, if you didn't know, on YouTube. So just to make it easier, obviously I have a makeup edit which is generically about makeup and different brands. I also have a Victoria Beckham makeup playlist, which is the Victoria Beckham edit, and also a 𝕬𝕚𝕚𝕚𝕚 edit. And the reason why I decided to create these separate playlist categories is because I review it that much. I am wearing a mixture of different things, but just to be clear, I'm not wearing any of the eyeliners from either brands, just to be fair. I am, however, wearing a Victoria Beckham lipstick and I am wearing the 𝕬𝕚𝕚𝕚𝕚 highlighter. So I will link everything that I'm wearing down below, so please do go check that out afterwards. So this is a comparison of the two pencils from the two makeup brands. So the Victoria Beckham one is called the Satin Kajal liner and the 𝕬𝕚𝕚𝕚𝕚 one is called the Seamless Glide Eye Pencil. Now the reason why I decided to do this review or comparison in the first place is because when I did the video for the Seamless Glide Eye Pencil, I got a few comments that said that the two pencils were very similar from the two brands, and in fact someone even mentioned they pretty much have the same ingredients, so that kind of piqued my curiosity. And even without those comments I would have compared 𝕬𝕚𝕚𝕚𝕚𝕚𝕚𝕚𝕚𝕚𝕚𝕚𝕚𝕚 Eldridge's pencil to Victoria Beckham's anyway, because I felt like they were very similar, because I purchased the Victoria Beckham's one first, then 𝕬𝕚𝕚𝕚𝕚𝕚𝕚 Eldridge's one, so it was a natural comparison and you'll see why in just a moment. But when I saw those comments about the ingredients and everyone, when I asked who do you think I'm going to compare with, everyone, pretty much almost all of you, guessed correctly and said Victoria Beckham. So it just made sense to do this comparison video. Just a little bit of a background before I get into the comparison. So 𝕬𝕚𝕚𝕚𝕚𝕚 launched her makeup line first in 2018 and Victoria Beckham launched her makeup line in 2019. So it's only really a year apart, but 𝕬𝕚𝕚𝕚𝕚𝕚 launched her makeup line first. They obviously have very, very different backgrounds. So for those of you who don't know, as a quick summary, 𝕬𝕚𝕚𝕚𝕚𝕚 has been working in the makeup industry for pretty much all her working and professional life. She started off as a counter girl for Lancome. She eventually started working in the beauty industry as a freelance makeup artist. Now she's the global creative director for Lancome and has been since 2015, as well as starting and launching her own makeup line in 2018. And it makes absolute sense for a makeup artist to start their own makeup line. Victoria Beckham, however, has a completely different background. So she, if you don't know, what planet were you born on? She obviously was Posh Spice in the Spice Girls, and then she went on to do her own fashion line, which I personally really love. And then in 2019, she launched her makeup line. So obviously Victoria Beckham doesn't have prior makeup experience, but I'm sure through the decades that she's been a celebrity, she's used to different makeup artists applying makeup on her face. She's been exposed to that from the various industries that she's been involved in. And in 2019, she launched her makeup line. Aesthetically, they look different. Like Victoria Beckham's makeup line has got this sort of tortoise shell, brownish, golden luxury look, whereas 𝕬𝕚𝕚𝕚𝕚𝕚𝕚𝕚, which is also a luxury brand, is mainly a burnished gold, is that the correct phrase? They are both what I would consider luxury makeup category. I'm not talking luxury as in Dior, Hermes. That's just another planet luxury. It's not cheap, but it's not like super expensive. Actually, I think Victoria Beckham generally is a bit more expensive than Lisa Eldridge. However, both brands really do pride themselves on quality. So like I said, Victoria Beckham's Satin Kajal liner, which is this one, was released in 2019. So actually, I believe it was like one of her first releases, because she does skincare as well. But yeah, this was one of her first makeup launches in 2019, which is around the same time that she launched her makeup brand. Lisa Eldridge, this is her Seamless Glide Eye Pencil, and it was released in 2023 this year. Now, she launched her makeup line in 2018, so this was like 5 years later. So she started with lipsticks. So these are the pencils, and that's the difference. So yeah, they look pretty similar, apart from obviously one is double-ended, one is not. I'll get onto that in a minute. The Victoria Beckham one is £26 and it has 1.2 grams of product. The Lisa Eldridge one is £24, so it's £2 cheaper, but for the same amount of product, 1.2 grams of products. Now, price-wise, it's not that different, really, in the scheme of things. The difference as well, like I said earlier, Victoria Beckham pencil is double-ended. So on one end, you have the pencil itself, and then on the other end, you have the sponge tip applicator, which is nice if you want to like smudge out the eyeliner. The Victoria Beckham one has no double end to it. Now, this was another comment that I got on my video when I did the review for the pencils. Many people wish the Lisa Eldridge one was double-ended, whether it was a sponge tip, whether it was a brush. Loads of people commented saying that they wish it was double-ended, which it isn't, but the Victoria Beckham one is. Also, the only other difference is that Victoria Beckham also gives you a free sharpener, and it comes in this like little box, and it just looks like this. So it's just sort of like, I want to say bog standard, but nothing Victoria Beckham will ever be bog standard. So it's a very common sharpener design, but either way they give you a sharpener, which is nice. However, the Lisa Eldridge one will also fit into it, and any other sort of standard eye pencil sharpener. The reason why I wanted to compare the two as well is because they're both very wet as eyeliners. And what I mean by that is when you normally use a pencil, there is an element of dragging, especially if you're using like a long wear or a gel. It's not uncommon in a pencil for it to drag if it's a long wearing pencil. However, both of these are so wet, they almost go on like a creamy gel liner or almost like a liquid liner. And for me, that always makes me a little bit apprehensive when it comes to long wearing products. So when I first tried Victoria Beckham's and when I first tried Lisa Eldridge's pencils, I almost had the same first time impression, which was like, ooh, it's very wet. But hopefully it will set and dry, and then hopefully it will last for the whole day. However, I'm going to state this now before I continue with the comparison. Honestly speaking, I feel like both pencils perform not as well, and I wouldn't necessarily put them into the longevity category for pencils or eyeliners, even though both brands do claim that they are long wearing pencils. So I just want to put that out there first, right? And I will talk about it more in just a moment. So I approached both teams for advice on what could help to make the pencils more long wearing. So Team Victoria Beckham said, as a tip, I should use an eyeshadow primer, and they advise that using any oil-based products beforehand may cause it to shift, which is quite obvious, but yeah, they did recommend this. This is the advice they gave. Lisa Eldridge's team said to use a Nars eye primer. Well, they said that Lisa likes to use a Nars eye primer, or with, you know, you can use a translucent setting powder. And obviously I tried this and it still shifted and moved about. So even though I used the eye primer, I used a translucent setting powder. And just to be clear, my eyes are slightly on the oiliest side, but where I've used other long wearing pencils, I haven't needed to use a primer. I haven't needed to use a translucent setting powder as a base beforehand. and I don't really need to worry about it. You know, I can just put it on and I don't need to worry about it moving for the day. So when one of my subscribers contacted the 𝕬𝕚𝕚𝕚𝕚 team to say, look, I've tried this technique, it still doesn't work. Is there any other advice you can give me? So this subscriber was told to apply in thin layers and to wait for 40 seconds per layer for it to dry. Now, if you are like-minded like me and you had the same initial thought, it's like, who has time to wait 40 seconds per layer, right? And either way, when I did one layer, because it is rich enough and emollient enough and pigmented enough to go on in one layer, I did wait the 40 seconds, by the way. I was sat there fanning my eyes like some mad woman, making sure I really did this product justice so that they couldn't say like you didn't apply it correctly and that's why it's moved, right? So I did wait the 40 seconds for that one layer, but it shifted. I know some people from the 𝕬𝕚𝕚𝕚𝕚 community shared good things about the eyeliner and how it hasn't moved and that they are long wearing after wearing Renaissance Gold. But it is really obvious that when you wear a very light color or a lighter shade that has a bit of shimmer, that they generally do tend to wear and last longer than a dark matte color, like especially black, like pitch black. So that's why when I did my initial wear test, which you guys saw the results of after my last review, it had really moved, so much so that I looked like a panda cub. And I know many of you even said that you tried all sorts of tips and tricks to try and make it last longer, but it didn't work. One subscriber, however, did mention that they use an Ulta, the American brand, I think it is, eye primer. But sadly, I don't have an Ulta in the UK, so I can't get my hands on it. But I will look out for it in the future when I go to the States. But clearly, it's very budge proof, unlike the Nars one. The Nars one, I would say, is a good primer overall, but it's not like super budge proof. It just helps the longevity. So I also thought it'd be useful to give you a little bit more information about the color choices, the selection, what each brand says about the eye pencils, and obviously the ingredients, etc. So the Victoria Beckham pencil, she said, I love to experiment with color. You see it in my fashion line, playing with color blocking and balancing modern brights with nuanced neutrals. I look at Satin Kajal liner through the same lens, and there's endless ways to use these. Along your lash line, in your waterline, create a wing or smudge it out. They're highly pigmented and so soft and creamy. 𝕬𝕚𝕚𝕚𝕚, about her pencil, said anyone can use this eye pencil. It has an addictively creamy texture with a smoothness and level of ease I've never experienced before. The description for the Victoria Beckham pencil is a creamy, smudge-free eyeliner with vivid, high-performance colors that simply demand attention. Avant-garde color, a sophisticated wardrobe of neutrals infused with skin-loving ingredients for long-lasting wear. Effortless application, Satin Kajal liner glides on smoothly for gorgeous color and eye-calming comfort in a single swipe. Plays and stays. Delivers dramatic eye definition any way you wear it, whether seamlessly crisp or lusciously lived in. The possibilities are endless. Pure excellence in every way, that's the Victoria standard. All day wear, smudge proof, waterproof. Excellence of experience, bold, dramatic and utterly luxurious. Satin Kajal liner has reimagined luxury eyeliner to deliver you low maintenance glamour in a single swipe. Excellence of performance for blendable shades and all-day wear that never sacrifices style. Satin Kajal liner is the epitome of award-winning innovation and fashion-forward color theory. Excellence of intention, Satin Kajal liner provides first-in-class, clean ingredients that allows your imagination to run wild. There's no wrong way to wear your most essential eye looks. The 𝕬𝕚𝕚𝕚𝕚 description says, seamlessly glides on pigment with a luxurious, almost liquid feeling, allowing for playtime, in brackets 40 seconds per swipe, before setting to a budget-proof, waterproof and fade-resistant finish that will last all day with 16-hour proven wear. Suitable for the lids, lash line and waterline, infused with soothing chamomile flower extract, the formula smooths color comfortably across the lid, hugging the lash line in pure rich color. This is your dream soft kohl pencil that sets and stays put. As the name suggests, Seamless Glide eye pencils are so smooth and easy to apply and even easier to blend, whether you prefer your liner in a soft and blended seamless smoke, smudged into lived-in 90s grunge, a graphic, clean and elongating flick, or smoothed in the waterline to define the eye, Seamless Glide will deliver. So the Victoria Beckham pencil is dermatologist and ophthalmologist tested, safe to wear with contacts, vegan, gluten-free and soy-free. She also says that they're mineral-based silica pearl, no microplastics, ocean-friendly glitter with 0 microplastics and plenty of high shine sparkle. The 𝕬𝕚𝕚𝕚𝕚 pencils says, all my products are 100% cruelty-free, fragrance-free and suitable for sensitive skin. Now, we go on to the ingredients. So, like I said, a subscriber of mine did point out that the ingredients are pretty much the same, bar 2 ingredients. And I thought, surely not. Surely not. How can that even be possible? Until I looked at the ingredients list for both, sat there, and I literally compared it, and she was right. So the Victoria Beckham one, I believe, has 18 ingredients, and the 𝕬𝕚𝕚𝕚𝕚 one, I think, has 16 ingredients. So basically, everything that's in the Victoria Beckham pencil, ingredient-wise, is also in the 𝕬𝕚𝕚𝕚𝕚 pencil, including the chamomile flower extract. The only 2 ingredients that Victoria Beckham has in her pencil that 𝕬𝕚𝕚𝕚𝕚 didn't include in hers is the, sorry about my pronunciation if it's wrong, tocopherol acetate, which is basically vitamin E derivative with enhanced antioxidant protection against free radicals, and panthenol, which is a hydrating and skin boosting vitamin B5, which defends against skin stresses and environmental damage. They both have the same hero ingredient, which is the chamomile extract, which is supposed to be soothing antioxidant with anti-inflammatory and antimicrobial benefits. So just on the ingredients alone, maybe you guys can educate me on this, because I don't even know how that's a thing, where you can literally have the same ingredients. I don't want to say it's a copyright thing, because I just don't know how it works and whether they use the same laboratory, and I don't know. I really don't know. You know, with Zara, the fashion brand, I think it's really well known that they tend to copy what's on the runways. For example, one time I was standing in the Chelsea Zara boutique and I was looking around, and literally like ahead of me I could see Chanel or you know, like a copies of Chanel. Turned to my right, I could see copies of Gucci. Turned to my left, saw copies of whatever was trending that month or that season. And the only reason that Zara can get away with it is because they say normally, as long as you change, like, I can't remember the exact number, but say like 7 details, 7 different things, then it's technically not a copyright issue. So for example, even if the jumper to the average Joe or average Jane looks exactly the same, it could be that one jumper is black but cashmere and the other one is like black but polyester. Secondly, it might be the stripes down the center of the cardigan, even though they look exactly the same initially, it might be that the designer one is like 5 centimeters and Zara's one is 4 centimeters wide. It could be the buttons, slight difference in the design in the buttons, for example. So initially you look at it and you know it's a copy or a remake, whatever you want to say, of the designer. But because there are these little differences, they get away with it and they don't get sued, I guess. And I know people have different opinions on that. Like, some people feel like it's a disrespect to the designer brands, whereas some people feel that, you know, it allows the average person to get their hands on something that is very desirable and trending of the time, but in a pocket-friendly way. Regardless of which camp you're in, that's normally how it works. So back to the makeup industry, I'm just confused as to how that works. And honestly, guys, I'm not accusing 𝕬𝕚𝕚𝕚𝕚𝕚 or her brand of, you know, copying Victoria Beckham, but I genuinely don't know, are these like such common ingredients that they're in almost every single eye pencil, or what is it? Because it's not like the other way around where 𝕬𝕚𝕚𝕚𝕚𝕚 has 2 extra ingredients that Victoria Beckham doesn't have. It's the other way around. And Victoria Beckham obviously released her pencil in 2019, and then 𝕬𝕚𝕚𝕚𝕚𝕚 launched her pencil in 2023. So really 4 years later and it's the same ingredients. So that's what is interesting for me. It's not an accusation, it's more like a confusion. And also, I'm not being funny, I'm going to be real here, okay? A lot of people, where they compared Lisa and Victoria's, said that they perform pretty much the same. So they are, by the way, no one's disputing that they're beautiful pencils in their own right. The only thing that's being disputed is the longevity of the pencil, and only because both brands have gone out of their way to say that they are budge proof, waterproof, you know, transfer resistant. You can't use descriptive words like that and the pencils don't perform. You know, you can't say that, and you know, do you know what I mean? So people's expectations are higher. If you had just said they're creamy pencils that can be used as eyeshadows, they're great for that smoked, smudgy look, great, no one's going to argue with that. But when you're saying and claiming and promising that they are, you know, all these things longevity wise, that's where the dispute, for want of a better word, arises. So my confusion again lays in the fact that if Victoria Beckham's pencil came out in 2019 and it wasn't the greatest long wearing pencil, let's be real, then why is 𝕬𝕚𝕚𝕚𝕚 brand coming out with almost the same exact pencil in 2023 and she hasn't changed anything to make it more longer wearing? Does that make sense? So that's where my confusion lies. But like I said, please comment down below your thoughts on that, and if you have any sort of like industry insider knowledge that would answer my question and confusion, it would be very appreciated. So just to finish up on the comparison before I give you my final thoughts, there is a short demo available of how to use the eyeliner available on Victoria Beckham's website. She does do occasional demonstrations on her Instagram, but it's more like, it almost has a feel of like a get ready with me video rather than like a professional makeup artist showing you their pencil. Whereas with Lisa Eldridge, she obviously always does longer demo videos, especially the night or evening before the launch. She will do these videos talking in great detail about what ingredients are included, what shades there are, etc, etc. Last but not least, comparison wise, is how many shades are in each of the pencils collection. So with the Victoria Beckham one, like I said, she did release it first 4 years earlier than Lisa Eldridge. So she's got 16 shades versus Lisa Eldridge's 6 shades. And I feel like Victoria Beckham has released her pencil shades more slowly over time. I can't remember how many she released initially. Maybe it was the same, but Lisa Eldridge launched with 6 pencils in her first kind of launch. So I wouldn't be surprised if she brings out more shades in the future, but just to let you know. So Victoria Beckham one has 16 shades in her Satin Kajal liner collection. 7 are matte, 5 are shimmer, and 4 are considered jewel, so which is like sparkly. There is black, which is a deep matte black. Cocoa or cocoa, as some people say, decadent rich matte brown. Ash rich matte graphite grey. Navy noir, which is a rich matte navy. Fig, the rich matte aubergine. Bordeaux, rich matte burgundy. Surfside, rich matte teal. Olive, antiqued forest green. Copper, which is a shimmery reddish gold. Sea grey, shimmery gunmetal. Bronze, which is a golden brown with shimmer. Night flash, slate black with silver sparkle. Gold lamé, true gold with golden sparkle. Sequin green, khaki green with golden sparkle. Smoky quartz, molten mink with golden shimmer. And a new shade which she launched very recently is cinnamon, which is a warm brown shimmer. Lisa Eldridge has 6 shades, like I said, which she launched as part of her initial collection, which includes 3 matte and 3 pearl finishes. Black treacle is a matte black. Ground coffee is a neutral deep matte brown. Burnt umber is a rich warm matte brown. Night forest is the deepest green with blue and green pearl. Cinder smoke, cool grey with subtle pearl. And Renaissance gold, which is a blackened metallic gold with cool champagne pearl. Just to say, I have all 6 shades of the Lisa Eldridge pencils, and although I don't have all 16 shades of the Victoria Beckham one, I pretty much have the majority of them in my collection. I just love the shades that Victoria Beckham does, and I feel like Lisa Eldridge will bring out more exciting shades, but for the initial launch, I get her coming out with the most sort of like staple colours, if you know what I mean. When I looked at the Victoria Beckham pencils that I've got versus the 𝕬𝕚𝕚𝕚𝕚 pencils, I decided that I would compare the colours that looked the most similar to see just like how similar they were. And honestly, it really struck me at how similar they were, almost to the point where I feel like to the naked eye, you can tell like slight differences, but at first glance, and especially when they were applied wet, they both almost looked like the same color. So I'm just going to share some of the screenshots of pictures that I took of comparisons from the Victoria Beckham and 𝕬𝕚𝕚𝕚𝕚 collection. So again, I would love to know what you think of these color comparisons down below. Personally, I find longevity wise, like I said, I just don't find them long wearing at all. So if I want an eye look, or especially an eyeliner where I'm going out for the day and I don't have the time to faff around with my makeup, I will literally avoid wearing the Victoria Beckham and 𝕬𝕚𝕚𝕚𝕚 eye pencils. It's just gotten to that. However, if I want something a bit fun, a bit different, especially with the Victoria Beckham's sort of like more sparkly colours, I love wearing those. And I do feel like they're more longer wearing than the matte ones. I now completely avoid the matte ones in total honesty, because they are just a disaster for my eyes, especially the waterline. And I know they said it, you can wear it in the waterline, and absolutely you can wear it in the waterline. It's safe to do so, but it goes everywhere when you put it in the waterline, unless, like in Lisa's description, you know, you want to wear it as that lived in 90s grunge, then absolutely it's great for smoking out. In fact, it's even great for using it as an eyeshadow because it's so creamy and so blendable. It literally glides on like the name says, and you can smudge it out, have fun with it, play with it. But if you're going to do that, yes, it might last a little bit longer than wearing it as a liner. However, I would heavily recommend you wear a primer underneath it to help with longevity. So like I said, with the last 𝕬𝕚𝕚𝕚𝕚 review that I did on the eye pencils, a lot of you, if not the majority of you, told me that you had the same experience as me and that you were quite disappointed with the pencils. But I know the 𝕬𝕚𝕚𝕚𝕚 team is great at getting back to people, and I know they really like answered a lot of your queries. As you guys know, I love both brands, but I have been more loyal to and reviewing 𝕬𝕚𝕚𝕚𝕚 for longer. And I've been following her, in fact, before she even launched her makeup line, I think since 2015, when she first launched her face paint book, etc, etc. I do feel like, and this is me being completely honest, although many of you know me in the 𝕬𝕚𝕚𝕚𝕚 community and you guys know how much I love Lisa, I'm going to be vulnerable here. Sometimes I feel like a bit disappointed by the 𝕬𝕚𝕚𝕚𝕚𝕚 team, because I review the brand not because I want something back from them, but I do genuinely love the brand, right? And I have done for a long time. And for example, with the eye pencils review, I wanted to be as authentic as possible, as I do with all my reviews. So I wasn't going to sit there and harp on about how great it was and how it lasted for the so-called proven 16 hours wear, when that wasn't the case. And I feel like that authenticity, although it may be something they don't want to hear and the feedback they don't want to receive, ultimately I feel like it's something that they could use to improve upon their brand. And not just my feedback, but other people's feedback who use those pencils. And actually, I feel like it, in fact, makes me more of a trustworthy blogger, because I'm not just complimenting the product for the sake of complimenting it. But you guys know, if you've been following me for a while, the majority of my reviews about 𝕬𝕚𝕚𝕚𝕚𝕚 are very positive, and normally I love the products. And like I said with the pencils, it's not that I dislike them, it's the fact that I just dispute the longevity part, which they really focused on. The sad thing is, I feel like when I put all this time and effort into my reviews, they don't share and haven't shared anything of my content for a long time. And it sometimes just puzzles me a little bit as to like what criteria they go on to share content, if you know what I mean. They often thank me, by the way, but it just ends there. And then it kind of made me feel a bit strange when I released the review of the pencils and they had watched my video. They told me that, by the way, and you know, they were really lovely in reaching out and saying, you know, we're happy to replace them if you're not happy, or blah blah blah. I told them like I would just keep them. That's when I asked for advice about what could help with the longevity, right? And as you guys know, I bought an extra set of pencils to give away as well. Ultimately, I am doing all these reviews, and I get that they wouldn't share that particular review because it wasn't the most favorable, but like I said, the majority of my reviews are, and yet they don't share anything. And then there was a few people, in my opinion, kind of sucking up to the brand who perhaps haven't been as loyal or don't put as much effort into their content, saying how great the pencils were whilst wearing only a Renaissance Gold, and then their content was being shared. So sometimes things like that make me feel a little bit, I don't even know how to feel about it, to be honest. It's really hard to put into words. And you guys know I try to really remain true to my reviews, to the audience. I try to be as authentic as possible because honestly, that's what I always stand by, is trying to make my platform and channel as honest as possible. And I'm definitely not, as I say, a sucker-upper, but sometimes I feel like you have to be one in order to get your content shared. But yeah, I'd love to know your thoughts on that, because it's something that I've been feeling for quite a while. And like I said, I don't create this content to deliberately be shared or be deliberately thanked or, you know, have like this spotlight on me. But, you know, there are other brands which I highlight a lot less that have shared my content quite a bit on their channels. So I don't know what it is about the 𝕬𝕚𝕚𝕚 team. Maybe I've done something to upset them. I don't know what. Maybe they just don't like me. I don't know what it is. But yeah, I'd love to know your thoughts on that, because maybe you guys can provide me a different perspective on it. And I really do appreciate the kind of comments and the feedback that I get from you guys. Also, if there's anything comparison wise that I've missed out on the two brands, I would love to hear from you down below. Please let me know your thoughts. I will be doing another 𝕬𝕚𝕚𝕚𝕚 video very, very soon, and that's on the new lip brush. And there is a giveaway attached to that. That's all I'm going to say. So hopefully you guys can watch it and enjoy it very soon. As always, I just thank you so much for following me and continuing to give me support on my channel. Really hope you enjoyed this review. Although it was uploaded later than I had originally planned, I hope it was worth the wait. Thank you so much as always, and take care of yourselves.